You're listening to The Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio New Jersey with local credit experts Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan. Now, here's Jason and Damon.
Welcome back, everyone. It's The Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio Network, 1250 a.m. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and I'm here with Damon and Dino, and let's learn how to get rich, guys.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We're fortunate to have Dino Cicotti in the studio today from njproperty.net. And there's some people that do one thing or two things very well. Dino does a lot really well. He's a New Jersey real estate renaissance man.
Thank you very much.
There's a lot of opportunities out there, and I think Dino has his finger on the pulse of how things are selling, where things are selling, and how to get in the game and how to get in the market. So, Dino, what's up?
Just glad to be here with you guys on early Sunday morning and talk some real estate. Right now, the market is pretty tough out there for a lot of realtors trying to make some money, and you got to pretty much be in the REO or short sale game to really have any type of business going on right now. You know,
we talked about that before we came on the air too. So, from a consumer perspective, and we talk about it a lot on the show, these terms get thrown around, short sale REO, and I don't think that there's a lot of clear, definitive information. Regretfully, I don't think a lot of realtors understand fully, completely what that means. But take a second, back us up. Let's talk about what a short sale is. Let's talk about what REO is.
Okay, a short sale is basically someone who owes more on their house than what it's worth in today's market. You get a lot of people calling the office saying, how can I sell my house? I can't afford to pay a realtor commission and all the closing fees. So that's where we come in and we say, hey, we have a product or a program we could put you in where we have an attorney who facilitates a short sale. They're going to call your bank and negotiate your sales price down to a number that is where the value of your property is out there in the marketplace, and then at the same time we'll be out there looking to find a buyer for your property, and hopefully put the two prices together: the price that the buyer's looking to offer, and also the price that the bank is looking to take, and get you out of your situation.
Sure, and start to finish, what's the average? How long does something like that take?
Well, today it's taking a long time, and it also depends on how much the banks are going to negotiate on the price of the home, how much they have to come down. If you have a house that's $10,000 underwater, it's going to be cut and dry. You're going to negotiate that short sale within 60 days, and they'll be out of the house in 90. If you have a house that's $100,000 to $200,000 upside down, it's going to take 6 months, 7 months. I mean, we have transactions that we're working on for whatever reason, 2 years. You get a buyer who wants to buy a house, and then all of a sudden, during the whole process, the market's going down, and he finds another house that's even cheaper and better. Right. Well, he balks on your property, and he's going to go buy the other property.
Right. So if you're listening to this and you have your property and you're underwater, which means you owe more than your property is worth, you are not the only one. Your neighbor, your other neighbor, just about everyone in your neighborhood, if they've bought in the last few years or refinanced in the last few years, are having the same problem. But let me ask you this. Let's say somebody is having heart palpitations because they're paying a loan on $500,000 and the house is worth $250,000. How do they figure out what their house is worth to even get started?
Well, the first thing they do is they have to call a realtor, someone who knows all about short sales. The best way to get someone like that is preferably through referral. Maybe somebody who's dealt with someone in that situation. They were successful at helping them out. Or call the New Jersey Association of Realtors and see if they can refer someone to you.
I think that's a good idea too, because there's the problem with the internet days. We talked about the benefits in the first segment about how you can price shop. The problem is if you're looking at information that's not correct. For example, if you're trying to find out the true value of your home and you're going to one of these Zillow.com sites where the information may be skewed or they're not accounting for your school system or your local neighborhood, then you may get an incorrect perception of what your home is worth. And that's why it pays to get a professional involved to have a conversation with you, to be able to try and put a true value on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't tell you how many people call up and say, "Oh, my house, Zillow says my house is worth this," And I'm saying, I turn around and say to them, that's fine, but that's totally not an accurate number. We need to be more specific on what your area and your neighborhood and the style of your home is worth.
Right. That's why realtor associations are local organizations in most cases.
Yes.
Sure, you can call your state level or even a national level, but they drill down to the neighborhood. They want realtors who understand your block by block neighborhood, who understand what your street looks like, and understand perhaps what the details of your neighborhood are.
That's correct. Absolutely.
So, one of the other things I wanted to talk about is tax appeals. Everyone in the state of New Jersey understands that they're paying too much money for taxes. And, the problem is it's systemic and it doesn't seem to have any end. Our governor, we were talking about this before.
Right.
It's commendable that he is trying to cap this or at least try to standardize it, because you can move from one town to the next and pay different property taxes, which is pretty confusing, especially to me. I live in New York and I can't understand why they may do that. But, the problem is your taxes are based upon how valuable the county or city or municipality views your home.
Yeah, every township has its own rate and ratio, and each township is allowed to be off by 15%. So, you may think that you're over assessed for your property value, but the township has a right to be off by 15%.
So what recourse do people have? Most people think that there is no recourse. You get your property tax statement in the mail, you send your payments, and you call it a day. But there are ways to be able to try to get a more realistic value put upon your home.
Absolutely. The first thing you should do is contact someone who's experienced in that field. We offer a service where we do what's called a comparative market analysis for tax appeal purposes, and there's a fee involved in that. But what we do is we take your property, we compare it to other properties in your neighborhood, and we actually do the calculations to see if your property fits in the tax appeal program. And in doing that, there's a charge, but you'll at least know whether you qualify for the appeal or not. At that point, what we do is we're going to refer you to one of our network attorneys, and basically the attorneys work on a contingency basis. So if there's no appeal, there's no fee.
Let's explain that again. I think that some people who might not understand how important the word contingency is, and especially in a case like this, that means that they are working on your behalf with the understanding that if you save money, they'll get paid. And if you don't save money, they won't get paid. Dino, do me a favor, please. Give out the number specifically to the tax department, because I think that is an awesome opportunity.
NJ Property Tax Appeal, phone number 973-509-9505, extension 17.
Awesome. Again, that's 973-509-9505. Or you could visit them on the web, right? njproperty.net.
That's correct, yes.
That's awesome. So I was fortunate enough to visit Dino in his office, and he works with a rock solid team. You go there and you know that these guys know what they're doing. There's attorneys, well-known attorneys that are working on your case. And whether it be this or the short sale process, or if you're buying an REO, in the state you need attorneys, and he's really working with a fundamental good group of guys that I think that you'd be able to get a good deal. And I think that that's important today,
Absolutely.
Working with an important, qualified and skilled team. So again, if you want to speak with Dino or anybody on his team, give him a call at 973-509-9505. Again, 973-509-9505. I want to go back to the short sales for 1 second.
Sure.
Are you finding that in any area in New Jersey, the property values are going up as opposed to going down? Are people looking at their homes are coming back? The value are coming back?
They're not going to come back. If anything, they're going to stay stagnant for a while. I don't see them going down anymore. I think pretty much we've peaked in that market, but I think you're going to see it flatline for quite some time, at least till the job market picks up and people start getting back to work.
I know that we have a lot of realtors that listen to this program, and if you're a realtor and you're listening, you need to be in the game where there's movement in the market. You need to make sure that the team behind you is supporting you in the movement of the market, and not only with allowing you to be able to do the deals you want to do, obviously, but also with education and making sure that the deals don't fall out when they go out of your hands. Anybody who's doing short sales out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You hand off your short sale deal that you work so hard to get a contract on, and you pass it off to the next phase in the process, and it's gone. Buyer walks, paperwork isn't being taken care of, and you wind up losing your commission.
Very common.
Very common.
Yeah.
You know, we were at a networking event last night. We're saying, listen, people are just angry because they're not realtors or investors are angry because there's a portion of this process that's not in their control.
Right.
And if they can't have it within their control, then when it gets screwed up, it's always the other person's blame.
I actually moved my office to be next door to an attorney who facilitates all of our short sales, and he's got a team of about 18 short sale negotiators. So, you know, we're next door. We're working hand in hand every day.
How can you argue with that, too? I think that that's super important because I know personally, I've spoken with realtor businesses, I should say real estate businesses, and, you know, they're just starting to get into this market. There's a group of 5 or 6 realtors that say, hey, well, obviously short sales is where the game is. Let's go into our local community and get a couple short sale listings and sell a few short sales. But it hits a roadblock so quickly because of the problems that they incur, and they have no idea that these problems are coming up. Yeah, so it makes good sense that you've streamlined that process.
Yeah, it's not an easy process. It's a constant grind dealing with the banks, making sure they get the paperwork. They're always losing paperwork, and you know, always documents are expiring, having to resend new bank statements and all kinds of paperwork. It's
nastiness.
It's a big task.
So how can you help your fellow realtors?
Give me a call, and we'll certainly talk about it. I definitely have room in my office for people to come and work with us.
I think that that's an awesome opportunity. If you're not making enough money where you are right now, if you're banging your head against the wall like I know so many of my realtor friends are, maybe you should think about picking up the phone and giving Dino a call. Let me give you his number fast. It's 973-509-9505. Again, 973-509-9505, or shoot him an email. Look at him on the web at njproperty.net. I think that that's an awesome opportunity, and I think that really people should be taking care of it and taking advantage of it. Let me ask you one other thing, too. In regards to short sales, are people concerned about what their credit damage is? And I know we talk about what the effects are on credit. Does that come up in conversations?
At every appointment, someone's always asking about their credit. The bottom line is a short sale is a quicker way to getting out of the bad situation. Right. If they don't do a short sale, obviously they're going to have a foreclosure, and that's going to stay on their credit a lot longer than a short sale.
People need to be aware of it. You know, if you're thinking about the short sale process, you know, if they're not asking you, I guarantee you they're thinking it. You know, if they're not, if 90% ask, what is this going to do to my credit? 10% are thinking it and not asking.
Yeah. There's people in situations. We've had people at our conference table walk in and just throw the house keys across the table and say, "Take the house. I'm done." Yeah, it's happened. And not only to just your ordinary people, we have had professional athletes come into our office and say, "Take the property. I'm done."
Yeah. You know, speaking of that, it was funny. I was listening to a radio program the other day that said that NFL is considering a lockout. They think that up to 60% of the NFL players will not be able to make their payments on their life and their home and their families and their cars and their bling.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Well, it's like Antonio Cromartie. You saw him on Hard Knocks.
He's got 35 kids.
I think the Jets had to give him like a third of his salary in advance to pay all of his back child support.
It's great.
Yeah,
7 kids in 7 cities, right?
Marshawn Lynch, who I guess now he plays for the Seattle Seahawks or something. I think he has like 6 kids and like with like 5 different women.
It better be no lockout for that dude.
Ricky Williams came back not because he was liked football so much. I think his child support payments are like $300,000 a month with all his kids. It's crazy what they owe. It's ridiculous.
It's wild. Sure, and they got it. You know, they got it until they don't got it. So imagine, you know, we had a good friend who's partners with a baseball player. He used to wait at the end of the week the baseball player, a very, very rich gentleman, a very wealthy athlete, $20-some-odd million a year, would wait until the end of the week, wait in the manager's office with his arms folded to pick up his physical check, not even direct deposit.
He didn't trust
used to drive it down to the bank.
He was from the islands, and he didn't trust the wiring system. He wanted it physically in his hand.
Can you imagine? And plus, it was gone by the next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
They blew it on what? How you spend $3-4 million?
And his brother Nino.
I know now is his skin color is different than it used to be, which is very Michael Jackson-esque. Very, very weird. And if you know who we're talking about, I don't like to drop names, particularly when we're speaking bad, and we are speaking bad. But again, you listen to the Credit Pros on the Real Estate Radio Network. We've had some fun and interesting things, and hopefully you're learning how to make some money here. Hopefully you're learning that short sales perhaps is for you to get your family out of problems. And if you're an investor, if you do fix and flips, if you're handy, if you have a toolbox downstairs and you're thinking about getting in the investing game, I think now's the time to do it. There's never been a better time. I'm not sure that there will ever be a better time to get into the investing game, particularly in New Jersey real estate. So stick around for more after the break. Coming up, we have some true or false questions. What they don't want you to know. We have an awesome what they don't want you to know this week, and it's going to save you a lot of headache and tears. And it's about credit.
And maybe we'll finish up a couple of those differences between business credit and personal credit cards, consumer credit cards. And I think we might try to take a caller today, Damon.
Oh, good.
We've been doing emails lately, but I thought we might open up the phone lines if we have a caller. So,
good. And Dino, I want you to stick around after the break as well.
Sure,
Dino's going to
absolutely.
stay with us. So again, thanks to Dino Ciccati from njproperty.net. Give him a call at 973-509-9505. The tax department, by the way, is extension 17. You're listening to the Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio Network with Jason and Damon. Give us a call on our off-air line if you have credit questions, credit problems, credit concerns. 973-771-5118. Again, 973-771-5118, or on the web at creditrepair.to. See you after the break.
For all your credit problems, concerns, or questions, call the show's off-air number at 973-771-5118 and speak to the hosts of the show, Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan, directly. 973-771-5118. This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us. The Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio New Jersey is hosted by local credit and finance experts Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan. The purpose of the show is to help consumers understand what's really going on with their credit. They're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. If you are having problems qualifying for a purchase or you're tired of high interest rates because of bad credit, Jason Kaplan can help. Call Jason directly at 973-771-5118. That's 973-771-5118. Take advantage of speaking with Jason anytime you're having a credit problem. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Jason Kaplan and the Credit Pros today, and you'll be glad you did. 973-771-5118. That's 973-771-5118, or you can visit creditrepair.to for more info. For all your credit problems, concerns, or questions, call the show's off-air number at 973-771-5118 and speak to the hosts of the show, Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan, directly. 973-771